Are we on?
We are on.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. We've got a quorum, and this is the special meeting, public hearing for the Fire Commissioners District 4. And we've got Steve, we've got Harry, Chris, Joe, and a guest. Hello, guest. So Chris, you want to start the meeting with the preliminaries there, the public comment, or do we do the public hearing first, or how do I do this?
We start the public hearing. So you open the public hearing and then I can read the rules for public comment.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, yeah, public hearing's open. Mostly the purpose of the meeting here.
And public comment due to the public health concerns and the CDC's guidelines for social distancing, the public will not be permitted to physically attend the commission meeting in person. In addition, and as a result of Governor Inslee's latest proclamation, the board will not be meeting in person and have made arrangements to have the meeting via Zoom. You can join on your computer and or call in. Join our Zoom meeting by going to https://us06.j/8926208178. If you're not able to join via computer or do not have speakers or a microphone on your computer, you can dial in for audio. Call 253-215-8782 and enter meeting ID 892-6208-1758 at the prompt. Note that the public will be muted by default. If you would like to speak during the public comment portion of the meeting, you have the following options. Online, raise your hand or use the Q&A panel to submit your comments. Phone, press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to send a request to be unmuted to submit comments. That was a long one.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I guess we're in the public comment portion of the meeting. What's the best way to invite people to participate? I don't have any of the Zoom controls. I don't know, if anybody wants to participate. So I guess I'm going to defer to Chief and Chris. How do we best handle this?
We don't have anybody calling in. We do have Mr. Hansen has already expressed interest in speaking during the public comment portion. So I would say we just go ahead and.
Yeah, great. All right. Yeah. Friendly face there. Dave Hansen, I see on my screen. So a little bit, I don't know what the word would be, odd you joining as a guest, but welcome. Yeah, please feel free to participate here in the public comment portion. If we'll get you unmuted here.
Oh.
Hey, Dave, can you hear Harry? Got to unmute.
Yeah, I asked you to unmute.
How about that?
There he is.
There we go.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
And Chris, Ms. Parks.
Hello.
Well, whenever you're ready, I had just a few things I wanted to discuss and just talk about. One is, I was sorry to see that both levy attempts to pass the levy for both the District 21 and District 4 did not pass, and didn't pass by a long ways, and that was concerning. So with that said, I know that you've got to come up with, I guess, plan B or plan C, and I'm sure you're already discussing that and talking about that. So in honesty, I really don't feel. I was very involved with several groups out here, and I had shared that with a few of you. that I think it's going to be very hard to pass some type of merger or a RFA with the Whatcom County District 4 taxpayers joining District 21. Before I thought it was just going to be an easy slam dunk. And it might just been timing. I had felt, and I have a great respect for the International Association of Firefighters, Local 106, especially because I have many of my great friends are there or retired from there now. So this is nothing to do with them. It is obviously, I'd always had concerns with the District 21 and District 4 relationship, not putting that on either district, putting that on both districts. And due to those concerns, one of the things that I was very adamant about, it was that we needed to have our District 4, and the taxpayers of District 4 needed to have an employee of District 4 that was looking out for our best interest, meaning our financials, our overall administrative services. I was told often, no, District 21 staff can handle that. Believe me, I put the legwork into that deeply, spent a lot of time into that. And with the errors and the concerns I had with the financial administrative sides were enough to make me or drive me to pursue the hiring of a district administrator, the position, and with a qualified person. I recently received a call from somebody from District 21. I have several friends up there. And I was disturbed at what I heard, and I want to ask it straightforward. I'm going to ask it to you, Commissioner Land, because Commissioner Land and I, when we brought Mark in, Mark also stated he supported that position. Harry stated he supported the position. Steve gets a pass because he wasn't here. Hey, thanks, Steve, for stepping in, though. I've heard you're doing a great job. Nothing but good about you. But my concern is this. I was told that District 21 has basically told you, Commissioner Land, your board, that if you chose to keep the District 4 chose to keep the administrator position on board, they would not consider moving forward with an RFA or merger or any type of consolidation with us. That's concerning to me. Whether it's fact or not, I always consider the sources. This source seems to have fairly good knowledge, as well as others that I've went out to and seek information. The other is that I was told that you were planning on doing this, ending that position after the December 15th meeting of this year. And that's concerning. So, Mark, I'm looking you in the face. What do you say?
Well, I guess before I would consider talking about that in a public comment portion of the meeting, I guess I want to ask Joe, our attorney.
Hey,
this
Joe.
is a comment portion of the meeting. I'm just unsure of how much of a active participation component, any of the commissioners are essentially.
That's fine. That's fine. You can just return it. You can respond in writing to me. I will put a written request in, and for whatever.
I would like to.
Thank you, Dave. But
I would like
yeah,
to
Dave. No,
respond,
I
Mark.
appreciate you. But if you could allow me to finish and maybe not interrupt me, I was going through a question here to our attorney.
All right.
Joe, how much are commissioners supposed to engage in an active dialogue here if somebody wanted to essentially call us on the carpet, on decisions, as opposed to, is this more of a public comment where the public gets to share their feelings, their opinions and expressions, as opposed to requiring us to, go into what might be, confidential information?
Well, my comment is really not a direct answer, Mark, to your question, but a bigger question, really. And that is, I understood you were in the public hearing. You opened the public hearing on the budget and the tax increase. And that's the subject actually of this special meeting. This special meeting isn't about personnel matters. The special meeting is limited to holding a hearing, a public hearing, so that you can hear from the public about your proposed budget and about your proposed tax increases. So I didn't really hear Dave say much about that. Not sure how much has been shared with the public yet, but this should only be about that subject. It shouldn't be about other things. This is not public comment period in a general meeting or a regular meeting of the board where anything is really on the agenda. This is a special meeting limited to the subject of the budget that's proposed for next year and the resolutions. And Chris has shared all of that in your packets. If there's comments on the resolutions for tax increases, they're basically 1% tax increases. Or if there's comments in the public hearing about the budget itself, what you're spending or what your revenue is, those are fair game for the public. But we're not really here to hear public comment on matters of general concern or on matters of personnel. So you see my drift. I think it's really kind of out of order. You don't have to respond to it because it's not really, Dave's comments really don't go to the purpose of the meeting today. Might be relevant at some other meeting in the future, though.
I agree.
Okay. So then I guess, yeah. So thank you, Joe. I guess I would suggest then, Dave not wanting to be anything but transparent, but I guess you can understand, you've sat in my chair before and obviously before me, and I just want to make sure that I'm following the right process and not doing anything inappropriate. So
I agree. I support that.
I think what I just heard is that we need to stick to the agenda, and the public comment portion is really limited to the tax levy resolutions that are on the table, and pretty much, I feel like I need to follow the advice of the district's attorney. But again, we want to be open and transparent. So if there's another forum or another opportunity to, address your questions or comments, let's certainly find a time for that.
Absolutely, and I respect that. I kind of gave you guys an opportunity to set some rules there at the beginning. You didn't, and so I took advantage of the moment intentionally. So with that, there's some food for thought for you. Regardless, I wouldn't comment on it either. Joe, great advice as you always have given. So December 15th, we will plan to have a group there to visit with you guys then. So, all right, you guys have a great meeting. Thank you.
Okay, so I was just going to say, people are welcome to join or stay or leave, whatever they want to do. It's still obviously a public meeting, open hearing here. Jason, Dave just disappeared from my screen, so maybe he just left altogether. I
believe he left the meeting. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have anybody else that is out there wanting to comment?
No, sir. Nobody else has called in, and there's nobody else in line to comment here.
Okay. So, Joe, do I close then the public comment portion of the meeting, and then we move to the action that we're required to take on the resolutions on the agenda?
That would be fine.
Okay, so the public comment portion of the meeting is closed, and then let's move to the first resolution that's on the agenda, 2021-04, the property tax levy. Is it customary? I apologize for asking all these questions. It's my first budget meeting here for the fire district. Is it customary to read these out loud into the record for people that are watching, or or that might watch later, or what's the best suggestion here?
Well, typically, at the most, you would read the title. And sometimes it's based upon city practice, I think. What a lot of cities do is they read the title and then they read the resolved at the end, resolved and approved this blank day of blank 2021, but no more than that. You certainly don't need to read the whole resolution. Some places
Okay.
they just make a motion. Some places they won't even read the resolution itself. They'll just make a motion to approve resolution 2021-04. So there are different ways to do it.
Chris, what have we historically done? Have we just made the motion, or do we
Well-
read the title and the resolve?
Well, you wrote, we always read the resolution and the number and the title of the resolution and make a motion to approve.
And then is that something you typically would do, or the chair did?
The chair.
Okay, so I will read then this resolution number. It's 2021-4, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners, Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4, authorizing an increase in the regular property tax levy of $15,546.08, or maximum allowed by law, which other than new construction is a percentage increase of 1% over the previous year's levy.
That's it.
Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire District 4, an increase in the regular property tax levy in addition to any amount resulting from the addition of new construction and improvements to property, and any increase in the value of state assessed property. It is hereby authorized for the 2021 levy to be collected in 2022 in the amount of $15,546.08, or a maximum allowed by law, which is a percentage increase of 1% from the previous year. So that is the resolution. Oh, great. Thanks. Somebody, you put it up there. Do we, I guess there's no motion yet on the table. If somebody wanted to move to approve that, and if it was seconded, then I would open it up before the vote for any other discussion.
So moved.
And so seconded.
It was moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 2021-4. Any other discussion on that?
Not for me.
Okay, not hearing any. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Mark,
Yeah.
I would like to go over and bring you something real quick before we move to the next resolution.
Okey doke. I'm just down the hall to your right.
Yep, I'm just making a copy of you right there.
Okay.
Commissioner Land, I'll bring up the, as long as Chris doesn't bring you a different resolution than the one that she sent out in the board packet, I will put that up on the screen as well so that people can read it. Or if they're watching later, they can pause it and then read through the entire resolution.
Okay. All right, Jason, hang on. I got to mute. So I got to hear what Chris is saying. Hang on a sec.
James Company.
All right. Am I back on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, sorry about that. It was just some housekeeping administrative stuff on some wording for the next one that's coming up. Okay then, so we're to the second item, resolution 2021-05, the EMS tax levy. So I'll just do like I did on the other one. This is a
Commissioner Land,
resolution.
Commissioner Land,
Yeah.
just real quick. Chris, is this resolution different than what's sent out in the board packet?
Yes, I just updated it this morning to clarify a little bit. I was working with legal counsel Joe Quinn on it, and we just changed the wording on top a little
Okay,
bit.
okay. I'm not going to put this one up on the screen then, just since it's different. So,
Yeah, it's just one sentence.
Well, for the benefit of everybody who wasn't handed what I'm about ready to read, and since Jason doesn't have it, Chris or Joe, could you guys want to highlight then what the changes were if the other two commissioners, don't have the benefit of having the update here? Is just highlight anything significant?
Well, it was just a small change from what you had in the draft. When I read the title, I thought it might be better to mention that this is the EMS levy because it reads almost identical to the other one. It's for the same reason, to go to the 1% increase only, giving the amount, but it didn't say EMS. And I thought maybe to alleviate any confusion, it might be good to mention that this is not the regular levy for fire that you just did. This is the increase in the EMS. So I think that's all
Okay.
Chris basically did, was added
Yes,
a
yes.
reference to EMS.
Mhm.
okay.
Okay,
So
good. Yeah, thanks.
So sorry, none of the body of the none of the language of the body changed. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and share it. If that-
Okay, yeah,
It's almost identical.
Okay,
just wanted to make sure that Steve and Harry weren't going to be caught by surprise here on anything. So yeah, thanks, Joe, for making that that clarification on there. That makes sense. All right, I'll start over. Resolution number 2021-05, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4, authorizing an increase in the EMS tax levy. Be it resolved by the governing body of the taxing district that an increase in the regular property tax levy is hereby authorized for the levy to be collected in the 2022 tax year. The dollar amount of the increase over the actual levy amount from the previous year shall be $4,061.58, which is a percentage increase of 1% from the previous year. The increase is exclusive of additional revenue resulting from new construction, improvements to property, and any increase in the value of state assessed property, any annexations that have occurred, and refunds made. So I guess we could do something similar to what we did on the first one. If somebody wanted to make a motion, and if there was a second, I'd then open it up for any comments before asking for a vote.
I can make the motion this time. I make a motion that we approve that resolution.
Second it.
Moved and seconded that resolution number 2021-5 be approved. Is there any discussion on that resolution? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Motion carries. All right. That brings us to the next item on the agenda, which is the 2022 budget. And Chief Vanderveen was going to give us a presentation. Chief, are you ready for that?
yes. Actually, what I'm gonna do is do essentially the same thing you just did. It's just the resolutions adopting the budget that Ms. Parks made up, and that should be it. So let me just share those, and then I will do essentially the same thing you just did. Just read the resolution and then the whereas. Okay, so this gentleman before you today is resolution 2021-06. This is the adoption of the 2022 budget. This is the fire budget. This is the fire side of the budget. Be it resolved by the Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4 as follows. The county assessor has notified the Board of Fire Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire District 4 that the estimated assessed valuation of real properties lying within the boundaries of said fire district for the calendar year 2022 is $2,097,633,165. Number two, the Honorable County Council of Whatcom County, Washington, be and are hereby requested to make a levy for year 2021 for Whatcom County Fire Protection Fire District 4 of $1,584,161.30. That the county treasurer of Whatcom County be and is hereby authorized and directed to deposit and sequester the monies received from the collection of the tax levy specified in section 2 above, the amounts and funds specified below. I bring you to Exhibit A, which is, or line A, which is $1,584,161.30 into the expense fund of said fire district. That is the fire budget, Commissioner Lamb.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking what I have for our budget worksheet. All right, well, I guess before I open it up for, or, discussion, I guess the proper thing to do would be to ask if there was a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll move.
Should we?
I have
Should-
questions, so
Yeah. So
I'm not going to second the motion.
yeah, no, fair enough. So the motion failed to get a second. So basically, I think what would be proper now for me to do would be to just let's just talk about where we're at on the current item here, this budget resolution, and see if we can then work towards getting a motion that we might be able to act on. So yeah, Steve. Jason, go ahead.
If I could, let me just project up here really quick the Whatcom County Fire District 4 line item budget for 2022 as prepared by Ms. Parks, so that you all can see which document that we might be talking about here.
Yeah, and actually, I wonder if it's what I was looking for. I've got my own question, but I'm gonna try to facilitate more and let Steve and Harry kind of drive this. So Steve, what do you have here that you want to maybe talk about?
Well, as we talked about in our last meeting, I'm not ready to make a decision on this budget yet. I've got several questions, one of which is, do we really want to use that much of our reserve fund? Number two is, I'm just not sure that I have a good enough handle on alternatives to that if we choose not to use the reserve fund. So to me, it's not that I object to anything specifically here at all. It's just that I think, unfortunately for me, it's just premature. I don't have enough information yet. I need a little more time. So.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Appreciate you sharing that. My question or comment was going to be kind of what I mentioned at the last meeting, and it's similar to what you just said, Steve, but nuanced a little bit, was that we had the budget and we were short a little over $300,000, and then monies were moved, at least on paper, to plug that gap. And I mentioned it at the last meeting. I think it may have been more appropriate to leave that blank so the commissioners could essentially see the deficit, and then that might have generated a little bit more discussion at that time on how we would balance the budget. So I think it's kind of what you're getting at, Steve, but maybe a little bit different. But I don't, honestly, I don't know what our time constraints are. Jason, Chris, Joe, I know it's a little bit late in the year to be maybe talking about putting off these resolutions, but I don't know. Steve has some questions. I had more of a concern just about the process. I'm open for ideas on how we can, address this and still meet our obligations.
So my question is, what's the timeline that we're required to follow here?
Well, this is to turn in to the county to make sure that we get our money in 2022. The District 4 gets its money in 2022. This is not so much setting of the line item budget. So these resolutions go forward to the county council, who then approve your request and ensure that these funds will be deposited in District 4's revenue fund next year. This is not so much the line item, like I said, I guess I'm saying it second time, but yeah, this isn't the line item budget for the district.
Well, the law requires that you submit a budget, and it's an annual budget, and it's required to be submitted to the county by November 30th. So if somebody had a question about time constraints, that's your time constraint. You need to have passed and approved a budget in an open public meeting subsequent to having a public hearing, which you've already held and finished. And so you have a little time. It's November 22nd, and so you don't have a lot of time. And therefore, you will have to have another special meeting between now and about, let's see, when does the month end exactly? The month ends in midweek next week, right?
There are two
Yes.
holidays. There's Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, you really don't get much done on Thanksgiving or the Friday thereafter. So we're looking at November 29th being next Monday. And that would be about the last day that you can get it done and still get it to the county in a timely manner. Isn't that right, Chris?
That's correct.
So thank you, Joe. That answers my question. So back to what Chief Vanderveen was saying, if we are not necessarily approving that line item budget, we may be able to move forward today then, because that's where I have my questions. I'm reading the resolution now, again, and it doesn't say that attached see the line item budget that we're approving. So if my question, I guess, is, are we indeed improving that line item budget, or just simply what the resolution says, which is,
well, you're approving the attached budget. And so
okay.
a budget has two sides. It has an income side and an expenditure side.
Yeah.
And you only have one fund that we're talking about, the current expense fund, sometimes called the expense fund. So you're approving both the revenue side and the expenditure side of the budget. Now, we frequently see amendments to the budget all during the year. And so if you were about to run over on an expenditure above the budget that was approved, you can simply move money from one item to another. Jason or Chris can correct me if I'm wrong, but you can make modifications by amendments to a budget. And so a lot of times we see a line item that looks like it's about to be exceeded, or it's been exceeded by expenditures, but you have money left over on another item. And so the only time you're really in trouble is if you have overspent your appropriations. If you can't spend more than what the board authorizes in the total expenditures of the budget. You'd have to find some money to do that. And I've seen that done, but generally speaking, Steve, you're not locked into any particular line item under the BARS system just by approving this budget. don't know if that answers your question or not, but essentially this is to make sure that your appropriations and the requests are approved by the county to give you your taxes in a levy next year. Well, two levies, one for the EMS and one for the regular fire levy.
Yes, Joe, that does. Thank you. That does answer my question. Yeah. So,
Well, so then I'll ask Steve and Harry, I mean, do you want to move forward? I mean, honestly, I'm going to be on vacation. I'll be out of the state. But if you guys are feeling like you want to have another special meeting on the 29th, you know, I'll change out of my bathing suit, come off the beach, and you know, be happy to chair another meeting if that's what you guys want to do.
no, that's not. I don't think that'll be necessary given what Joe has advised. And on my part, I do have questions, and I may bring up amendments in the future, but
Yeah, that's fair.
but if yeah, I have a better understanding of what we're doing today, so I think I can move forward.
Okay. Harry, are you okay moving forward?
Yes, my motion to approve stands.
And I will second it this time. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Andrews.
Okay, I gotta, hang on. So we're on 06, right?
Yes, sir. I'll put it
It was-
back up on the screen here.
Moved and seconded that we approve resolution 2021-06, adopting the 2022 budget. And you had already gone through that, so I will just ask if there's any other discussion on that.
I lost.
Oh, sorry. I wanted people to see if they could see you vote
Oh, okay.
for the recording. I thought it'd be better to capture your faces.
Sure.
No problem.
So not hearing any other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, Jason, would you mind doing the same thing for the 07 resolution?
Absolutely. So, Board of Commissioners, today you have before you Resolution 2021-07. This is the adoption of the 2022 budget for the EMS levy. Be it resolved by the Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4 as follows, that the County Assessor has notified the Board of Fire Commissioners of Whatcom County Fire Protection District number 4 that the estimated assessed valuation of real properties lying within the boundaries of said fire district for the EMS levy for the calendar year 2022 is $2,128,636,864. That the Honorable County Council of Whatcom County, Washington, be it and are hereby requested to make a levy for year 2021 for said Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4 of $414,744.85. So 414,744.85. That the Whatcom County Treasurer, the County Treasurer of Whatcom County, Washington, be and is hereby authorized to and directed to deposit and sequester the monies received from the collection of the tax levy specified in Section 2 above in the amounts and funds specified below. Line A, $414,744.85 into the expense fund of said fire district EMS levy. That is the resolution that's before you today.
So Jason, I don't always have the best hearing anymore these days. Did you say 2 million with an M or 2 billion with a B?
2 billion. That's for the assessed valuation of the fire district. That's the assessed valuation of the properties that the EMS levy is levied against.
Gotcha.
So 2,128,636,864.
Okay. Thank you. Did somebody want to make a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 2021-07, adopting the 2022 budget. Any other discussion on that resolution? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, I don't see anything else on our agenda for this special meeting. And because of the nature of the meeting, we should probably stick to the agenda. Anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn and sign documents?
Nothing here.
Nothing here.
Jason, Joe, Chris, have we covered everything we needed to cover in this meeting?
I think so.
The agenda.
Okay, great. Then we will be adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for all your work that you put into making this meeting happen. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.